Hey, time to shine today, Varsity Squad. It's Scott Ferguson, and I am uber stoked and privy to have my good friend Andrea Crum come on. They've been waiting on this interview because she was introduced to me by somebody that I really respect. And Andrea is fantastic. She built her career over 25 years from a student working at Nortel to a marketing executive at CPG. Looks like she had some Mary Kay and some Norwex going on. Andrea knows firsthand the unique challenges that women face in their career. She built her career from an intern to a member of the executive team. Andrea knows firsthand how challenging being genuine in our leadership approach can be, all while juggling organizational expectations and a happy life at home. It's the reason she founded Genuinely You Leadership. Now she coaches women who deal with similar struggles to lead with more purpose and peace. And this is some strong credentials, but she has so much more in the hopper and so much more in the cooker that she is just a rising rock star, even more than she is now. So Andrea, thank you so much for coming on. Please introduce yourself to the Time to Shine Today squad. But first, please let us know your favorite color and why.
Awesome. I'm so excited to be here. My favorite color, without a doubt, is purple.
Wow.
And I actually have loved it since I was a kid. I think it was like lavender, the variation of lavender when I was a kid. And now it's more like plum. So it just seems to be something on the purple spectrum that I
It's
like.
royal and regal, right?
Yeah,
Purple.
yeah.
I love
Yep.
that.
Daughter of the king. That's right.
So let's go back. I mean, you got like some serious credentials with your experience throughout different business. I see some network marketing in there, executive at different companies. Can you give us the origin of where you kind of started and then worked your way into GYL?
Yeah. So I started working at Nortel Networks when I was 15 years old. I don't even know if that was legal, but it was then. And I worked my way up. I actually got full time there after I graduated from high school. I went to college at night and worked all through college while I was working full time at Nortel. And then I got into my first leadership role there. I was a manager. And then from there, I left and went to Mary Kay Corporate. So I was on the corporate side of the organization, and that's where I built a lot of my leadership skills. I had many leadership roles there, and was there for 12 years. And then I was at Norwex, which is also a direct sales company, and there I was a member of the executive team. And all during that, most of my career has been in marketing.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So how did the evolution of GYL then kind of happen for you?
Yeah, so back in December, my time at Norwex had ended back in August, I'd say. And during that time, I was really, doing a lot of praying, of course, and just trying to figure out what I was going to do next. And I really had this mantra of, I want my next thing to get me closer to my end thing. What I had realized in my career is that I hadn't been very intentional. And I always knew in my mind that one day I wanted to do women's leadership development. I wanted to do speaking. I wanted to do writing, but that always felt like one day far off. It felt like, when I'm 50, 55, when I'm in retirement or something, that maybe then I would start thinking about those things. And so I decided I wanted to be a little bit more intentional. And so I started looking at how do I just, if we're on a spectrum here, if we're on a line and I just want to get myself a little closer over here, how do I just start inching my way over to that area? I thought basically that I would be looking at HR roles. I thought I would be going into doing something still in corporate, but just closer to give me more of that skill set. And what I discovered along the way is that I already had what I needed. And I really felt like God was guiding me to go ahead and not 10 to 15 years from now, but now, do it now. And so I got my LLC for Genuinely You Leadership in December. Focused on women's leadership development. The mission is to help women lead more genuinely while also still creating wins for their organization. So basically, how do you lead with your heart and your head?
Love it. Let me ask you something. So you were thinking about that, what I caught out of all those credentials, and it was all fantastic, but you were saying, I think I was pushed it off till I'm 50 or 55. That this part of it that you're really ramping up now, do you think a lot of that is fear of people not taking you seriously because of your age and because you're trying to lead, and people not taking it seriously? Because it's happened to me. I'm just want to figure maybe if that was your take and how you kind of overcame that.
Yeah, I think that there's fear of that. Yeah, I definitely had this moment of um, not feeling ready for sure. Am I ready for that? And I really, um, and I, I just will say during prayer time and I really got this sense of like, wait a minute, no, you're ready. You've been doing this for 25 years. You've been coaching women for 15 of those years. You've been in these women focused organizations. You know this. And not only that, it's your own story. And so I really got a lot of confidence out of that.
Awesome.
And so, but I definitely think it was fear. It was also fear of financials. I mean, I want to, say
Was
that,
was going to
it
follow
always,
up with that.
right. Because, well, it feels safe to be
Uh,
under the, you know,
corporate umbrella,
um,
kind of.
corporate umbrella.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's really not safe at all.
No.
But yet there's this, it feels like it's superficial
Sure. So,
safety.
what did your family think about it when you made that leap?
I have such a supportive husband. He is so he was just right there with me. I mean, there was never a question of, oh, it was let's do it.
Let's
And I
get
would
this done.
say
Love it.
I had the same response from family and friends. So,
Good.
yeah, it's been good.
So, what is your then? So, you're working with a majority of your clients are women then?
Hmm.
Okay. So, what is your secret sauce? So you got a spill here of finding when people come to you or you're having that little discovery conversation interview to see if they're a right fit and if you're a right fit. What is your secret sauce to helping find their blind spot to help them level up?
I think it's a lot about asking questions. And one of the things that I'm super excited about that I felt like really early on came to me was a framework for how to help women lead more genuinely and still get results, which is the framework of S.H.I.N.E. And so S.H.I.N.E, it comes out of Matthew 5:16, but it's an acronym. And S.H.I.N.E stands for so S is significance, H is harmony, I is intuition, N is navigate, and E is engage. And so it's this process of how to help women go from understanding their significance, how to be more genuine, which is that harmony aspect, how to understand their intuition and be able to flex when they're relating to other people, and then how do they navigate in their organizations with the people, politics, and pressures, and then how do they engage with strategy and vision and execution. And so I think that framework has really helps me when I'm having conversations, because most all the conversations, though, even though people want to start at the N and the E, with actually how do I get it done,
Right.
it actually starts at the beginning. And so that's where a lot of those conversations happen.
I love that. So you're actually, while you're doing the significance, harmony, intuition, you're finding those pretty powerful questions. You're asking them to dig and maybe share with you stuff that they might not have shared with someone else. So what does that feel like to have, like, okay, how do you get them to trust you then? How about that?
I think that getting them to trust me is all about being genuine myself. I very much am real and I talk about my own struggle. It's why, at the end of the day, why I actually founded Genuinely You Leadership. It was a struggle for me. Leadership was not easy for me. And you mentioned age. I think because I did start out young and I had some opportunities younger, maybe I always felt like I was trying to prove something,
Okay.
and I also didn't know myself that well. So I really dug in myself to my results oriented self and action. And a lot of times I think even in my leadership, I forgot how compassionate and empathetic I am as well. And so I think I just try to really talk with people about my own experience. And I think that helps people to have those conversations with me. With significance, it's often a conversation about we don't understand our worth or our value. We're so used to trying to be who other people want us to be or who we think we should be, this high expectation we have for ourselves. And so much of that conversation is even just about acknowledging who you are and then appreciating it. Because I think we might acknowledge it, but we skip the appreciation part sometimes, I think.
Wow, that's strong. So when you have, like, you're meeting with these people, and trust me, I coach people as well. Is there any question that you wish people would ask you but never do?
Okay, that's a good question. Is there anything people don't ask me? I don't think people ask me about the failure, right? I don't think people ask me about
Clapping, people. That's awesome. They want to know about your blind spots, how you overcame them. It's like
yeah.
you don't want to tell them because you don't want to sound like you're bragging about how you failed forward and came out of it. I just wish
Mhm.
people would ask you that,
Yeah.
or even me that. That's an honest answer, and I'm glad it took you a minute to get there, because that's what I was hoping for in
Yeah.
any leadership or any coach, to know about the story, know about the fails, and how you
Yeah.
overcame them. But they
Yeah.
never do. And
Yeah.
I wish that they did. So let's get in our DeLorean with Marty McFly. All right.
Deal. We just watched that Back to the Future.
I love it. It's a fantastic movie. Um, you're going back to the 22, 23-year-old. I don't know if that's far back for you, but I'm just going by the 25 years that you've been in business. You look
It's
like
been a while. Yeah,
you look like you could be 25. So
thanks.
let's go back to the 22, 23-year-old Andrea.
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of knowledge nuggets would you drop on her with your experience now to maybe help her along?
I would say, this is going to make me tear up. I would say you are worthy. I would say don't forget who you are. I would say bring all of it. Don't leave part of it on the table just because you don't think it's going to get you where you want to go, or you don't think that it's where somebody else wants you to be.
Beautiful. And hopefully she would listen. They never do,
They never
but,
do.
but
No.
that'd be fantastic. So you've done a lot in 25 years plus. What is the one big thing that Andrea wants to accomplish?
That Andrea wants to accomplish. Andrea wants a published book.
Yeah.
Andrea has had a dream for that since she was 19. And so I always thought it would be fiction. I've written a couple of fiction stories for middle grade or young adult. And now I am going to be moving into the nonfiction area. So, and talking more about leadership. So I think that dream has been kept alive.
I think, and not that my 2 cents are worth too much, but actually they are, but we'll say, I think that you should write a business parable. Honestly, I really do think that you should write, Andrea's the journey and the mentors that she's met along the way that's kind of pushed her through in the experiences. And it could be nonfiction parable. Just make
I
up
like
characters,
that.
build up the backstories. That's what I just wrote with Level Up, It's Your Time to Shine is my book that's coming out. And that's what I wrote. You and I are kind of cut from the same sheath, and I think it would spill onto the pages just like that. But give that some thought. It's just, again,
I like that. That's cool.
yeah. Because you
That's a
wrote
cool
the
idea.
fiction, so it's kind of fiction, but it's not. But
yeah,
make
I
sure
would like to fictionalize some of my story. It might be a little prettier.
What's one thing that people misunderstand about Andrea the most?
Oh, okay. I definitely think that my heart has been misunderstood at times. My intention. I think, especially as I talked about the fact that I drove forward, and I still do, I've come to realize that I'm these two things of compassion and action, that those are my two words that really describe me. And at the core of that is care. I really care. And so when I've pushed too hard, when I was, growing in my leadership, and when I pushed too hard, it was because I cared. I cared about the result, or I cared about what we were trying to accomplish. But I don't always know that was understood. And I probably didn't always, I know I didn't always handle it right.
Okay. Neither have I. So it's cool. That's what people have about me, because I'm driven, and people would always be like, rein it back. I'm like, but I love what I do. And it's like coming from a place of good and passion. It's not about the dollar. I want to help people.
Right.
But I love that. So let's take your cell phone out of it, take your computer out of this equation, but give me 3 things that Andrea can't live without.
3 things Andrea can't live without. Well, I can't live without my boys, all 3 of them. I'll put my husband, Matt, 17 years in there, and then Drew and Tyler's 10 and 6.
Family.
Can I group them into one?
Yep.
And then I would say my Bible.
Love it.
And then I would say my coffee.
Love it. You haven't even had any, and I'm sitting here. I'm sipping on mine.
I know I haven't had any coffee today. I decided I might be too excited to have coffee. So,
what is Andrea's definition of a life well lived?
Even as I've built this company, I knew even at my heart that even though, the mission is to help women lead more genuinely and create wins for their organization, my heart is for women to lead with more purpose and peace. And that's what I think a life well lived is purpose and peace. It's not about the next level. It's not promotion. It's not about how much money we make. It's about being able to live with purpose and to be able to have peace in the midst of that, and there's so much anxiety and there's so much depression and addiction and all these other things that are happening in our world that to me, that's a life well lived, purpose and peace.
Love it. Love it. So that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So why women only?
I think because that's just that's my passion area, is to help
Okay.
other women. I think because I personally struggled so much, and I've worked with women for so long. It's been about 15 years, primarily just in very much women focused organizations.
Hmm.
And because I understand the struggle of, building our careers, building our families, all those kind of things happening at the same time, the expectations, it's just what I feel like I know best.
Sure.
You know?
I love that. And you're honest and raw, and I appreciate that. You didn't beat around the bush. It's what you want. And I love that you're going after it. Some people are like, well, I just feel comfortable. No, you love it. You're driven. That's awesome. So as we wind stuff down a little bit here, we're going to go into our level up lightning round. You and I'm going to ask you about 5 or 6 questions, but you and I could talk for 15, 20 minutes to an hour on each one of them. You got 5 seconds.
Okay.
No explanations. I just want answers. Fair enough?
Okay.
Ready? What's the best leveling up advice you've ever received?
If you are this successful doing something that you're not that passionate about, how much more successful are you going to be doing something you love?
Love it. Do what you love.
Yeah.
Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Definitely, without a doubt, my quiet time,
Beautiful.
prayer and Bible time. Mm-hmm.
I'll say, other than the great book, the Bible, what is your, not flavor of the month, not something you're reading now, what is your book that you love to kind of, like mine's The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews. Like, what's a great book that you like to go to?
My go-to book that I'll reference, I think, for the rest of my life is The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson.
Beautiful. That's a great read.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So what's your favorite charity or event that you like to give your time and or money to?
The charity that I am in love with is Women with Promise. And they're all about giving educational scholarships and mentorship to women who have challenging circumstances.
Fantastic. And I kind of threw this one into the mix, and just real quick, if you could go, because we're in day like 995 of our quarantine COVID time here, if there's one place in the world you could be right now, where would it be? Outside of your home, where would you go?
I would go to, we were just having this conversation with my boys. I would go to San Antonio. I want to go to the Riverwalk and SeaWorld and an amusement park. I just want to be outside and enjoying life with my boys.
Excellent. And last question, what is the best decade of music? The 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
Well, Michael Jackson, I guess we could say, I would say 80s.
There you go. Love it. I'm a product of the 70s and 80s myself. So, Andrea, how can we find you?
So you can find me my Facebook Biz page or my Instagram page. So it would be Andrea Crum on Instagram, and then Facebook Biz is Genuinely You Leadership.
Awesome. And all that will be in the show notes, people. But okay, tell us a little bit about what you're kind of moving forward with GYRL and stuff like that, stuff that you're excited to be launching.
So Girl Talk, I am actually going to be having a TV show on Zandra TV network, and that's going to be coming up soon. So I'm excited about that. We're filming at the end of May, and so it's called Girl Talk. So my company is Genuinely You Leadership, and then the acronym GIRL, GYRL, is Genuinely You Real Life Leadership Talk.
Love it. That's beautiful. I can't wait. I cannot wait. And I can't wait for your book to come out. That'd be fantastic. And squad, we've just had some serious knowledge nuggets dropped onto us by my friend Andrea. Her S.H.I.N.E acronym, which I'm going to mess one of them up, but you have to roll with me here. But the significance, harmony, is it imagination?
Intuition.
Intuition, sorry, people. Navigate and engage. So write that down, and I will put that in the show notes as well. And then make sure that you bring all of you into every situation. You are worthy. And make sure the women out there that Andrea is really passionate about helping, lead with purpose and peace, and acknowledge and appreciate your accomplishments, and live intentionally. And Andrea is humble yet hungry, levels up her health, levels up her wealth. She's very family oriented, and she fits right into that mold to anybody that's looking to level up, especially my female listeners. Please reach out to Andrea. And Andrea, thank you so much for coming on the Time to Shine Today podcast. You're part of our squad now, so you can't go anywhere.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor.
Awesome. We'll talk soon, Andrea.
Thanks.